Hey guys, this is Ecclesiastes Chapter 10. And we got, after today, we've got Chapter 11, Chapter 12, and we're done. And if you followed all the way through, then you would have had the whole book complete. And you would have learned about personal inspection, and that's what kind of this Chapter 10 is here today, and what even Chapter 9 was about, looking at yourself and knowing you have a spirit body. But not only that, but you're thinking, and what's your balance, and how's your thought process, and how's your willpower to do things, or it's about checking yourself out. It's an individuality, and you should have been able to pull that out, through this whole thing. And there's great wisdom in Solomon's word, and God used whoever he will, just like he used the people that took children into captivity and they were taught knowledge, you guys. It's like Jeremiah said, you're going back to captivity, and they said, no, no, no. Just like people don't believe Antichrist is coming before Christ, guys. They think they're flying away. Just like people don't believe they're in the captivity now. Just like you could try to tell people the things you're telling them today, 10 or 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Hey, you're in the captivity now. They're like, yeah, whatever. They didn't see it. But it's been all these years that we've been under this captivity. I covered that in my other videos. But we'll go ahead and get into this. Chapter 10, it's the contrast between wisdom and folly. So it's a personal inspection. But verse 11, remember it was to return and saw under the sun that the race is not for the swift, nor for the battle of the strong, neither for the bread of the wise, nor for the riches, for the understanding, not yet for favor of men of skill, but time and chance happen to them all. For man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in the evil net, and as the birds that are caught up in the snare. So are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. And that's Antichrist coming. Now we read here in chapter 10. Dead flies cause the ointment of the apothecary to send forth a stinking savor. So does a little folly him that is in reputation for wisdom and honor. And this is false teaching. It's the death. It's your spirit. That's why I carried this one over. And the folly and the trouble, and they mislead you in false doctrines to hell, you guys, because it damns your soul. That's what Antichrist is trying to do out there. That's what Satan will try to do. Say he's God and damn your soul, because he wants to bring you down. 2, a wise man's heart is at his right hand, but a fool's heart is at his left. And this just means your right hand is your power, you guys. That's the good. But the fool's heart is at the left. And this fool is silliness. It's stupidity. It's no sense. There also, when he that is a fool walketh by the way. It's basically they leave God out, saying a fool walks by the way of a fool. His wisdom faileth him. And it says to everyone that he is a fool. He shows himself a fool. It proves all you got to do is sit and listen to him, or all you got to do is sit and watch him for about 10 minutes. Listen to him talk for about 2-3 minutes or something. And then they run their mouth, and you can see that what they say is not true. It's stupidity. It's not well put together. It doesn't make sense. It's just got you all over the place. And it's not good. They tell on themselves. 4. If the spirit of the ruler rises up against thee, leave not thy place, for yielding pacifieth great offenses. So, if you're in your spirit and in righteousness, and you know that something that you should stand up for, God's saying don't run. So even if the ruler of judgment, what he's saying is someone comes against you, you stand up. You don't leave your place, but he's saying yielding pacifieth great offenses. So that nurses it along, and it's easy saying that don't try to cause the trouble. You talking reasoning and wisdom and truth, and that's what God teaches us. Saves a lot of trouble, you know what I mean? You don't want to always go to extreme fight, and then sometimes we do that, you know? That's a common thing, even to try to get through to people, you guys, and then you'll blow up, and you know, that's not wisdom when we do that. We all do it, and we just gotta. This is what this book is beautiful, and it teaches us this, you know. But looking at ourselves, and we need to do that, you know, and check ourselves, because we're gonna have to keep doing it. We're gonna screw up more, guys. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceedeth from the ruler. The evilness, or the error, what he's talking about, which proceeds from the rulers, it's folly. It says in verse 6, is set in great dignity, and the rich set in low places. And this is like chapter 5 and 6. It's like their dignity. The fools are running stuff, and they're running it into the ground, basically. And the rich, they set in a low place. So the people with all the wisdom that could run things by God's word, by divine authority, causing overflow and constant produce and overflow of your sources, they got a fool running it into the ground. While these people set with the low-paying jobs and the low thought of in society, and no one will listen. And that's what, just like God's slipping out of the government. I have seen servants upon horses, and princes walking as servants upon the earth. And the earth is the ground. The servants upon the horses. See, the skilled should have been upon the horses, and the princes walking as servants. See, the princes weren't on them horses. They were doing. See, the jobs are flip-flop. This is what's talking about. Someone with stupidity and no thought, with no wisdom. They don't put thought to it. They just slap it all together, and that's what you get. A big mess and trouble, and people lost, and this guy's on this wrong job over here, and this guy's on the wrong job over here. You got turmoil, babble, and confusion. I have seen servants upon verse 8, 8, he that diggeth a pit shall fall into it, and whosoever breaketh the hedge, that's your protection, your wall, your barrier, a serpent shall bite him. And just like in a bushes or a stone wall you build around, you know, to protect, snakes would nest in there. Because it says in verse 9, whosoever removeth stone shall be hurt therewith, and he that cleaveth wood shall be endangered thereof. This is like the stones when you're taking them out of the wall and moving them, or like some fall down, you know what I mean, so you stack them back up. It goes back to verse 8. So if you dig a pitfall and you dig a trap for someone and you fall into it because you set out against that man, you're going to get that back. You set out against that person to set them in a trap, to snare them up, to take revenge, to take justice into your own hands like that, to start, you know, on petty stuff, or even a trap, a device of, you know, the system that is out there, the Antichrist system coming into effect. You're gonna, the serpent's gonna bite you, because the serpent doesn't know if you're good or bad or whatever. It just bites. If you get too close, you put your hand down there, it's gonna strike. Okay, and then verse 9, whosoever removes the stones, we got that, and then the cleaveth the wood. That's if you hit with a dull, and it says, if you do this, the cleaveth the wood shall be endangered thereof. And when you're trying to split it, and you're banging the axe, and it's just pounding it because it's a dull, non-sharpened edge. And God's saying, sharpen your wisdom, sharpen your mind here. Sharpen your knowledge and think about things and think things through before you do things. Don't go into that wall not paying attention that hey, snakes nest in here. They nest in the hedge and they nest in the wall. And just don't go in things blind. Think things through, and it'll be profitable to you. But they're hitting this axe, and it's banging into it. And you know how the axe has got the wooden thing, and it slips through, or the wooden handle, and it slips through the eye hole of the axe, and then they pound the top of it down, and it keeps the axe on there. If you keep banging a dull axe, it loosens that handle up. And when you lift it up over your head, guess what? It comes off there and hits you in the head. Or it comes close, or it can fall and hit you in the shoulder. So that's what it says you're in danger of. So you want to sharpen your mind up, or it's going to do your own self in, is what it's saying. So God, and He speaks through here just, He tries to warn us. He loves us. He wants us to be happy, and that's what this book is about. That's why I love it, because it makes you look at yourself. Verse 10, if the iron be blunt and he do not wet the edge, and just what you want to do is wet the edge of an axe before you cut too, then must he put to more strength, but wisdom is profitable to direct. And you want to do it in smart thinking by God, you guys. It makes it profitable, because that sharp end that don't cause as much strength. And, you just wear yourself out by beating and beating and beating and beating over and over. And with that dull axe. Okay. Verse 11, surely the serpent will bite without enchantment, and a babbler is no better. And that's like when you stick your hand in there, like I said, it's just going to bite you. So that's without enchantment. But snakes, if you watch on nature shows, you guys, they enchant animals. Like, just check it out. There might be videos out there too. I'm sure YouTube's got pretty much everything in the world, I think. You get lost on there, you watch stuff, and you're like, hey, how did I get here? I don't know. But they hypnotize them, and the animals look at its eyes, it's glazed over, and they just sit there and then bow. The snake gets them, it's something else. And the word, verse 12, 11, surely the serpent will be bit without enchantment, and the babbler is no better. Someone just runs their mouth and doesn't get anywhere, and they waste your time, and it's confusion and turmoil. It's a false teaching, and in the end you're going to get bit by the babbler. That BBL, confusion, Babylon. 12. The words of a wise man's mouth are gracious, but the lips of a fool will swallow himself up, so he'll do himself in. 13. The beginning of the words of the mouth is foolishness. If it's junk from the start and lies, and the end of his talk is mischief and madness. And you're sitting there trying to talk to him, and he's just blah, 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 and none of it's making sense, and none of it's checking out, and it's just wrong, and you can see him going, and you're trying to help somebody, but you can't get through or something in that sense, or even to someone wicked. All you can do is plant a seed and walk away, It's not your job to save the world, because God said, you guys plant and do what you can like that. If it sprouts, they're going to come back to you, and then you nurture it along. You nurse the seed, and you help them in their walk. A fool also is full of words. A man cannot tell what shall be, and what shall be after him. Who can tell him? And this is when he's talking. You're like, oh man, what's coming next? Oh, lie after lie and stories, stretched out fishtail. And it's just silly, it doesn't make sense, and it's driving you nuts by the end. 15, the labor of the foolish wavereth every one of them, because he knoweth not how to go to the city. And that means he doesn't know how to get there. He's lost. The labor of the foolish. He wavereth every one of them. That means he can't tell them the way and how to get there. He's in the city, and he doesn't know, because he's out living in the country, basically. And we'll get on the next chapter and finish this one.